I'm going to give you 5 steps that bring a man back after a breakup in the order they work. And you can start the first one tonight. You probably know the usual advice already. Take the pause, do you, look good, do not call him. That's a good start, but it doesn't always work. Stay with me until the 5th step, because that's the step where most women ruin the whole month of work they did before it. So, day 9, no message. He wrote something short and you answered even shorter. And in the evening, you write him a message in your head and edit it about 3 or 5 times. It's normal. Attachment works like this. You gave this man your time and attention and your hope for a happy future together. Of course, you get emotional when he reappears. And when you feel this much for a man, you stop seeing him clearly. The man in your head and the man in real life become 2 different people, and all your decisions are about the one in your head, not the real one. So before the steps, I want to tell you what brings a man back, because the message you sent him is the smallest part of it all. A man comes back when there is space and when there is something left for him to earn. Right now, even with no contact, you are still holding on to him. You're in that relationship every evening in your head. So there's no empty place where he could start missing you and where you could start finding yourself. And there is nothing left for him to win. In most cases, he had all of you long before he walked out, and that's part of why walking out was so easy for him. All 5 steps do one thing. They take your attention off him and put it back on your own life. That's the thing he picks up whether you ever text him or not in the future. He may come back or he may not. What I can tell you is that by the time these steps have done their work, you will be a woman who is fine either way. And that's usually when a man shows up again. So the steps have an order. First, you look at him clearly. Then you deal with the pull, then contact. So step 1, you get a clear picture of what happened between you. Step 2, you learn what to do when he shows up in your thoughts and you feel pulled back to him. Step 3, your energy goes back to your own life. Step 4, you decide what you want for yourself. And step 5, contact and the meeting. Step 1, 2 lists on paper, 20 minutes on a day when you've slept. That's important. On the left, write what he did. Only things that happened with a date if you remember it. For example, he drove an hour to bring you medicine when you were sick. He fixed the thing in your apartment. He called on Tuesday because he said he would call on Tuesday. He made me feel special doesn't count. Although it depends on how he made you special. Maybe you just kind of imagined it in your head. On the right, what kind of meaning you added on top of that. Every plan you made for a future the 2 of you never discussed out loud. That's one example. The words you imagined him saying to you at night, another example. So anything basically that you imagined in your head. Then read the left side out loud. Keep in mind, you are not scoring him and you are not deciding whether he's good enough. This isn't a court case and there's no calculator in your head. You're just looking at what happened without the story around it. And here is what most of us find when we do this exercise. There are some nice things on the left and it feels good to remember them. And there's a whole page on the right where you gave him about 10 times more than what was going on in the real life. You built the future, you built the meaning, you built the version of him who says the perfect things to you. And And that overgiving doesn't help you at all. And honestly, it doesn't help him either, because a man is a hunter. A real man wants to earn his woman in a natural way, and when everything is handed to him before he did anything for it, there is nothing left for him to win. So for most women, the left column comes out short. He did a few good things and a few careless ones. All the weight came from the right column, and every point there was created by the woman herself in her own mind. And that's good news for you, because it means you can do something about it. It wasn't built on real observation, it was built in your head. And what was built in your head can be changed there too. You just need to change the perception of the situations of the person. Sometimes the left column comes out long. He showed up when I was having challenging times. He did what he said. He moved things in his life to make room for you. Then you are looking at a real loss and a decision that's worth the work. So now you're working with what happened instead of the story you told yourself. Now, step 2. Of course, one list on paper isn't going to remove your thoughts of him, and it's not going to remove the infatuation either. You don't have to fight it. As we all know, when you push a thought away, it comes back bigger. So instead, when he comes into your head, let him be there. And change your perception in that moment by looking at the list you created on the left, the one with his real actions. Remind yourself that right now your hormones are pulling you towards him. You can accept that, and you don't have to act on it. Then look at what's in front of you and go on with what you were doing. Go on with your life. At first, you may do this exercise a few times a day. After a couple of weeks, you will get to the end of a day and notice he only came up twice in your mind. So that's a good progress. 2 things make this work, and both of them are physical: sleep and food. I can see a situation or a person soberly only when I've slept, I've rested, and I've eaten enough. When my body feels nourished, basically. When we're tired and stressed, we get more anxious. We overthink, we overanalyze. When you're rested, you can see what happened as it was. So if you're 3 nights short of sleep, you're in no position to read his message or to answer it. You need to fix the sleep first. You need to prioritize yourself first and start with the physical needs. And another simple one that works is an hour outside every day with your phone in your bag or maybe even in your car. Step 3, bring your energy back to your own life. Of course, the focus on yourself phrase may sound nice, but mean nothing to a woman who is in this state. 3 things. Do one thing every day that belongs only to your life. Something you would do even if he never came back. And 20 minutes of it counts. But I want to be specific about what I mean here, because this one goes sideways very easily. I'm not talking about eating a whole cake, pouring yourself a drink, or smoking on the balcony, or doom scrolling social media. Do something that builds you up a little. Learn something about artificial intelligence, because that's where the world is moving right now, and it's a good moment for a woman to understand it a little bit better. Read something useful. And I don't mean scrolling through social media. Again, I'm emphasizing it. Rest without your phone, because social media is where most of us run when we don't want to be in our own reality. Meditate if that's your thing. Go for a walk. And I would be careful with your girlfriends this month. If you meet a friend and the 2 of you spend 3 hours going over what he said and what he meant, you are not resting. you're feeding the same thing that's eating you. Keep the people who fill you up and skip the conversations that bring you back to the same anxious questions. Second, and this is only for the days when the thoughts are eating you alive. Some women can't get through an hour without him coming up. If that's you, give yourself an intention for the day. I'm not thinking about him today, I'm living my life. And at 7 in the evening, I'm giving myself 15 minutes to think about him as much as I want. Set an alarm for 15 minutes at exactly 7 p.m. Until it rings, write, complain about him on paper, be angry, say whatever you want about him, as long as you're doing it with yourself and you are not sending any of it to him. And when the alarm rings, you close the notebook and you go on with your day. 15 minutes is what he gets and not a minute more. But I don't want you to build your whole month around this. It's a crutch for the hard days. The direction is the opposite one, away from thinking about him and back into your own life. So the third step is go on dates. And don't make any decisions about a new man for the first month. You will sit across from a good man and he'll seem boring to you because you're comparing him with the man in your head, the charismatic one, the familiar one. This new guy doesn't move you at all, and that's understandable. And that reaction can be a good sign. Very often the man who gives us butterflies is the troublemaker. The decent ones, the men who are ready for something real, they often come across as simple, a bit plain, a little boring, and they're grounded. Those are the ones worth a second look. So step out of your head for an evening and watch him from the side. Watch his actions the same way you did with your list. A man should make a woman fall for him with his actions, not with words, not with stories about himself or with smoldering look across the table. His actions are what show you that he came with intentions and that he respects you. A woman who is ready for something real will see that and value it. A woman who still wants the roller coaster is going to want her ex back. And watching a man like that can bring feelings up in you, sometimes quickly. When a man shows up in his actions, a woman who is paying attention understands what kind of treatment she deserves. So this month, put on your grown-up shoes and start watching. When is a man behaving like a worthy man? And when is he behaving like a boy who wants to play around a little? So don't judge them yet. Go have a normal conversation, notice what you notice, and just go home and rest. Now, step 4. Pick one thing that lights you up and give yourself a short deadline for it. 2 weeks, a month at most. Pick something small that gets you a little excited when you think about it, and it has nothing to do with him. Maybe plan some kind of a trip to Europe or take some cooking classes. Then put it in your calendar and just do it. And make yourself the priority this month. Your sleep, your work, your money, the people who fill you up. Nobody can do this part for you, and he'll feel it later from the energy you exude. If the two of you ever interact again, of course. And step 5, contact. And this is where a whole month of good work gets spent in 10 minutes. First, a caveat. Write to him only if you can do it consciously, without hoping that it brings him back. If you're writing because maybe he changed, let me tell you what a month does. If there were things about him that didn't work for you, 1 month doesn't fix them. He's the same man. Honestly, in most cases, it's just better not to write at all. But if you're going to write, do it from a full place, because otherwise you'll be disappointed again. And you will go right back down into the state you just climbed out of. If you write something real with no question about the two of you in it. For example, you finished the book he told you to read and you briefly share your thoughts on it. Send it and leave it there without any follow-ups afterwards. If you meet him, keep your own pace. Don't bring up getting back together, and if he brings it up, don't answer him that same day. Tell him what you've been doing this month. Ask about his life and leave the date while it's still good. I mean, do not overstay your welcome. And that date can do something else for you. Your eyes may open a little. Sitting there in front of him, he might stop looking like the perfect man you've been keeping in your head. And that only happens if you come to that date full. If you come there depleted, hoping, needing him to fill you up, nothing is going to change. You will walk out with the same hope you walked in with, and that hope is the road straight back to being disappointed. And then decide, with both lists in front of you, on a day when you've slept, if the left column is long and he came toward you when things were challenging in your life and he was there for you, a second try is worth having. If the left column is short and you did all the giving for 2 years, then understand what you're choosing. You will spend the same 2 years again, and the second time it will hurt more because this time you knew. You can do all 5 steps through force, and it may work partly. It works less when you're doing it to punish him or to prove something to him, because you carry that tension around for a whole month and he picks it up in the first 10 minutes when you see each other. But you don't need to feel calm to start. Start with the paper tonight. Keep looking at the left column every few days, and the calm comes later, after you've seen the facts enough times. I wrote this whole pattern out in a guide where why smart, self-aware women keep choosing men who can't go the distance. The link is in the description and in the first comment. If you are in the middle of a pause right now, read it before you send anything. And tonight, do step 1. Paper, 2 columns, 20 minutes, and read the left one out loud. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end of this video. If this is the direction you want to go, come back to the channel. I talk about femininity, about becoming whole as a woman, and about building good relationships with men from that place. I'll see you next time. Bye now.